Hello guys, and welcome to another episode in how to make a dank meme or bot in Visual Studios. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to make the balance function and our first bag function. So we're going to be working on the currency system first, and then we'll work on the fun system such as like memes and whatever other function that dank meme has. Because I think the currency system is kind of the hardest part. So let's get that done. So the first thing that we're going to have is down here we have created a balance function, and right now what happens is that we're basically just setting the balance as 50, right? But we're not really, what's happening here is we're setting it as 50, but if I run the bot, so the terminal, if you remember, then we can say do node index. If we run the bot and we do !bow, nothing happens, right? Even though this is the command to run it, because we're not actually displaying anything to the user. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to make a quick embed, and basically once we have the embed, we can basically just take the information by reading what's in the database, and instead of setting it, we're actually just going to read it. And actually we also need to make a new function for when we encounter a new user. Alright, so basically what we're going to do now is just going to type const balance embed, and this is what we're going to send to the user. We're going to call it a new message embed function. And now basically what we're going to do is we're just going to set the color of this embed to be whatever you want. So I actually don't know all the hex code, so I'm just going to search up hex code real quick and input it here. So I found a hex code. This is basically the hex code for green. You can use this one if you want, but that's basically the hex code I'm going to be using. And then we're just going to set the color, or set not the color, the title of the embed. So by the way, if you guys don't know what the embed is, I'll show you guys in Discord. So if you go to dank memer, you can see here if we do please bow, you can see that we have this instead of a normal message, and basically this is an embed. So this is a normal message, but this isn't an embed. It's basically just a cooler way to format text and display information. So that's what we're doing right now. And we're also going to set the title of the embed to be balance. And what we can actually do later is we can actually make it so that we're going to also ping the user by doing inline replies. But for now, we're just going to do this. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to type set author. So we're setting the author to be of this embed to be the name of your bot. In my case, I believe I called it dank memer clone. So I'm just going to say dank memer clone. And then you can comma, and then you can put an image here, like a URL of an image. I'm not going to put one because I don't have any images. And then what we can do is we can just say dot set description, and we can say here balance of and then we can just add here ID. And actually what we can do here is we can actually, in the balance function, what we can do is we can also pass in the username, and what we can say is we can take a new parameter of user, and we can say message.author I believe it's username, yeah, username. And then instead of passing an ID, we can pass in user. And then we can't close it off with a semicolon yet, so because we're creating new things. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a field. And we're just going to say balance, or actually, yeah, we're going to add a field, but instead of saying balance, it's going to be the actual balance of the user. So here's where we're not going to be using the embed anymore, and we're going to actually take in the data from Firebase. And basically what we're going to do here is, you can see we have basically a data for the ID here. What we're going to do is we're going to grab that data from the database. So what we're going to say is we're going to say var balance ref is equal to db.collection. And basically we're going to be referencing the players collection. So we're just going to reference the players collection. And then we're also going to reference a specific document. So I believe instead of typing a specific string, we're just going to use the ID. So we're going to pass in the ID that we get from the author. And what we can say is if doc.exists, or sorry, and then what we can say here is balance ref dot get dot then, whoops, I typed the wrong thing, dot then okay, finally, and we're gonna type doc is equal to, and then we're gonna paste this here, and we're gonna say here if doc.exists, so if after we try to grab the document with the title of the ID, and if that document actually exists, only then are we going to run all of this. Otherwise, we're going to create a completely new function, create new user, ID user, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say else, we're going to call create new user with the ID and user that parameters that it needs, by passing in these parameters that we get from this function. So yeah, so now what we can do is we can say var data is equal to doc.data. So basically this is referencing the data, and what we can say is add field data.balance, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And also I'm just gonna add a colon here so it looks nice. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I guess that's pretty much it for the embed. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna say channel dot send, and we're going to send our balance embed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this should work. And let's just create a new terminal. Delete this one. We can say node index. And let's go into Unity, or not Unity, Discord, and we can say exclamation mark bow. Okay, so we got a warning. Channel. Okay, so what we can do here is we can say, okay, we can pass in the channel here. So what we can say is we can say channel, and we can say message.channel, and yeah, now it should work. So we can just delete this, type in node index. Now we can say exclamation mark bow, and you can see here the balance of me is 50. And also I don't know why there's an undefined here. Why is there an undefined? Interesting. Dank beamer clone, okay. Undefined. Why is there an undefined? Data.balance, right. Balance of user. Oh wait, you know what we can do here is we can just remove the add field, because I just realized that the description's already the I repeated what I was doing twice, so we're just going to delete this and replace this here. And in the set descriptions, what we can say is data.balance. And now this should work. I don't know why there's a null, but or undefined thing there. So we do exclamation mark bow. Okay, we don't replicate it. So okay, so this is it. And if you want, you can give your currency a name by like saying like doing this, and it's just saying like Robux or something. But I'm not gonna give a name to the currency. But yeah, so this is pretty much it. And yeah, so we're not gonna go into the create new user thing yet. Create new user function yet. Today we're just going to be creating like a basic like bag function, as well as a balance function. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to create an else if command is equal to bag, or I guess there really isn't anything else for bag. Is there like a short, because I know balance can be bow, but I don't know if bag can be anything else. So we're just gonna do bag, and we're just gonna do function bag, and then again ID user channel. And now what we can do is we can come over here and we can say bag. We can actually just copy this, I believe, and we just say yep, pretty much, and we just replace this function here. And we are not going to do the same thing, except we're going to be copying this, and we're just going to be, actually, you know what? We will be doing the same thing because, and I'll show you why in a second. Because so first we're referencing the balance ref. So we're gonna get all the data, and what we can say is we're going to obviously have a different amount of like names for who we're begging for. Actually, you know what? We don't actually need to grab the data. Actually, I just realized, because I mean, like, unless you guys want to like display the new balance after the player has begged, which I don't believe dank memer does. So let me go into and see what dank memer does for beg. Yeah, it kind of just says like either you get something or you don't get something. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. So we're just gonna copy this embed because we honestly don't need to get any data or write any. Well, we do need to write data, but not yet. So what we can say here is we're going to create a new embed, and you guys can change the color if you want. And I'm just gonna say over here, the title will be the name of the person who is, you know, receiving your, who is going to be giving you your money if you do successfully beg. And actually, you know what, the author can actually be, I believe the author is, yeah, so the author can actually be the person who is giving your money, and then the description will be how much money you're getting, and this can be displaying, let me actually see what dank memer. So yeah, okay, so Keanu Reeves. Okay, so there's not actually a title here for dank memer embed. I'm just gonna create a title just because, you know, I like making all the embeds look the same. So I'm just gonna do begging of user, and the author will be a random thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a function that will grab a random name from an array. So what we can do here is we can create over here, and we can create an array of names. And basically, this is going to be the name of every single person that can be begged from. So what we can say is we can say like Queen Elizabeth, and that can be one name. And then we can have Keanu Reeves, and we can have Steven Spielberg. Not sure if I spelled his name right. And we can make like Tom Holland, or whatever, a pink guy, or Daenerys. I'm not sure if I spelled Daenerys right. Garion, Naruto, whatever. Alright, I'm just gonna have like that many names. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna generate a random number. Alright, so basically what we're gonna do is we're actually going to create a new function. So because I don't actually like JavaScript's random function, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm just gonna type function get random integer, and I'm gonna make a max parameter, and we're just gonna return a new number that is the rounded down version of a random number. So we're using the math.random times max. So basically in our case, max will be the max amount of numbers that we're going around. So if we input here, what was it called? Name get random int name array dot length, it should get a random number between 0 and the length of the array, which is going to be 1 minus the actual length, because 0 is also an integer inside of the array. So basically this will return a random int, and what we're going to do here is over here for the set author, we're going to have okay, so for here we're going to have to create a new variable. We're going to say var name rand is equal to, and then we can say here name array name rand is going to be the author, and we can say like says, and then the description will be again a random like amount of strings. So instead of a name array, we can say like beg string array, and we can, instead of having all of these, we can make it be like here is your money. Stop begging. Haha, you were poor. Or something like that. Good job. Okay, yeah, I don't know. And we're gonna create a new name rand, and except this time we're gonna say disk rip rand, and we're going to have beg string array here instead. And then over here, what we can say is beg string array dot length. Or sorry, not dot length. Yeah, there we go. And over here, we're going to add, what we can say here is we can just say, create a space here, and we can say, do we have an error? No, that's just something on my screen. Okay, we can say here name array name rand has given you, and then over here we can create a random number, get a random number between for like the max amount of money you can get from begging. So if you want that number to be like 100, then you can just say var receive num is equal to get random int 100, and that will return you either 0 or 100, or any, sorry, not either 0 or 100, any number between 0 and 100, or not 100, 99. And over here we can just say has given you, and then we can type here receive dot toString, and then we can just add like the currency name, like Bobucks or something like that, but I don't have a currency name, so I'm not doing that. And then we're just gonna send the balance embed, or in this case the beg embed, and yeah, that should be pretty much it. So we don't have the saving yet into the database, but we'll do that once this works. So we can just go into our game, and we just say exclamation mark beg, and we just say, you can see here it says Tom Holland says, haha, you are poor, Tom Holland has given you 90. And we do exclamation mark beg again. Queen Elizabeth says, begging of extra dank guy, good job, Queen Elizabeth has given you 42. And like maybe we could put a $sign in front of that. So we can just, yeah, add that there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the beg command. Now we just have to save it to our database, because right now, if you didn't notice yet, when we do exclamation mark bal, this 42 and 90 didn't actually add to our balance. So we're just gonna do here, we're gonna say, we're just basically gonna copy this. So we can just say, instead of balance ref, we can say, or actually no, yeah, wait, we'll use a ref. So we can just say beg ref, and we can say here beg ref dot set, or yeah, well, instead of set we'll do update, because it's better this way. And we can just say we can update our balance to be okay, so I guess, yeah, so we would need to use, we would need to actually read the data, because over here it requires for us to add the balance that we already had to our current balance. So we need to get the data from our scene, or not from our scene, from our database, and we have to say here var new bal is equal to 0, and we can just say new bal is equal to data plus data dot balance plus receive num, and then what we can see here is balance is equal to new bal, and that's it. So it should work now. So if we just delete this, we can just say node index, and we can do exclamation mark beg. There's an error, of course there is. And we can see here All right, balance ref is not okay because we named it bag ref. Sorry, my bad. That's a silly mistake. So we can just delete that node index, and we can do exclamation mark bag. So I've received $70. If I do bow, okay, it says I have nothing. Oh, right, because this is okay. So the reason that we're updating to 0 is because new bow is equal to 0, and this function takes time. So it's when this runs. Basically, what's happening is that this is running before this is running. So what we can do is to fix that is we can just copy this and paste it inside this. And yeah, that should work. So now we can just delete that. We can say node index, and we can do exclamation mark bag and an exclamation mark bow. We have a balance of 76. If we bag again, then we have 76 plus 56, which is apparently 132. And if we do bag and bow, so yeah, that's pretty much it. The only problem now is we're just gonna have to create a cooldown, which we'll do in the next episode for the functions, as well as making our create new user function work. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode. In the next episode, we're obviously going to be working on our cooldown function and of our create new user function. And yeah, I'll see you in the next time. Have a good day.